Yes, welcome to the show. And I'm a little irritated right now because I'm reading. I cut and paste a message that came in on my free Libsyn blog where I do some free podcast shows. It's a freebie thing I toss out every once in a while. And, I do it as a favor to the fellows that still listen to me, that don't want to bone up for $5, fucking dollars, just to, come to the site and get my shows. Now, this fella is getting free shows, so basically he's not paying for it. And he has the nerve to write to me, Supreme, I have followed your stuff for years, and I think your podcasts are awesome. I mostly agree with your viewpoints on the downfall of the male identity. And that kind of makes me laugh a little bit. I mostly agree. Like this guy knows something? Nah, I highly doubt that. He goes, I despise the way we are often portrayed as incompetent cavemen, and men are not portrayed as cavemen anymore. That was my generation, the real man generation. They now portray men as pussies and nice guys and weaklings. If you watch any of the movies, and I'm one of those people that I woke up, and since I've been awake, I observe everything. This fellow is obviously one of the people that's asleep and one of the sheep out there. Most of you people, you have been programmed to accept the homosexual agenda, which I'll get into just a minute, because he goes into that. He goes, however, what is with the anti-gay bashing? You stopped watching a TV show because it has a gay character? And yes, I did, 100%, because I refuse to accept the gay homosexual agenda on my TV shows. If I'm going to choose a TV show to watch, I control what goes into my head. Okay, they put a gay character in this TV show for what purpose? Why? You got to ask yourself why. When you start to wake up to what's really going on in our world and how they program us, how most people out there are nothing but sheep. You guys heard that before. Most people are nothing but sheep. This guy, Andy here, he's a prime example of that. He's been tooled. Now, I'm asking you to go back, do your own research, go back and study who started the feministic movement of the 60s. Lesbians, you'll find out. Then go to the 80s when the homosexuals finally start coming out the closet. Now, before that, my period, my youth and young adulthood, because I was in college when homosexuals started to come out. Okay, before that, you didn't hear about them. They weren't in your face about this shit. They were in the closet, as they called it back then. Basically, they didn't put it in your face. They didn't subject you to seeing them on, writing about them on TV shows and all that stuff. Even though there was homosexuals that were out in Hollywood then. Like one of my favorite shows, Lost in Space. One of the characters on there, he was a flaming homosexual. But big deal. So let me go on. As a kid, you didn't know they were homosexuals, by the way. I wouldn't watch the show now for that reason. But let me say that there's one person you should go watch, because he's had his finger on the what was going on. His name is Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy used to be a stand-up comedian. Yeah, I know he did those stupid movies, but he used to be a raw stand-up comedian. He was down, dirty, and raw. And you need to watch all of his stand-up shows to see. First show, he made fun of fags. He used the word faggots. And he said, faggot ass faggots, and faggot this and faggot that, and went on and on. Second show, he said, damn, what's going on? These gay people are coming after me, and they've got power. They started getting political power in the 80s, and they came after him. Third stand-up, he didn't say a goddamn thing. If they could shut up a raw black comedian like Eddie Murphy, that's power. I noticed that back in the 80s. And I've watched the changes that have occurred with mankind and TV shows since then. Nowadays, you guys are programmed to go for skinny, little boyish-looking girls. Where do you think that came from? Where do you think that came from? Think about it and use your head. Do your own research. Look at the women that were considered attractive in the 70s, 80s. And then halfway through the 80s, it began to shift. Where do you think this stuff comes from? Why do you think they changed it to boyish-looking women? And this has also had a bad effect on women. It has not only affected you guys, that's why you lack masculine energy, and you're more feminine these days, but women are now more masculine. They have become more masculine as a byproduct of what is going on. Now, some of you guys say, oh, you're a conspiracy nut or full of shit. I've been around for a long-ass time. I've watched the shit. I've already been through this whole argument when I was on So Simp. Those guys are so far in the dark, they barely could even understand what I was talking about. And most of you guys are so far in the dark and been programmed like tools, you will not even understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But those of you who are awake, you know what I'm talking about. He goes on to say, what kind of retarded, can't even say the word shit. That's a man that's been programmed. He won't even say the word shit. That's some bitch assness right there. If you're going to cuss at me, cuss at me. Don't send some bullshit bitchness at me. You bitch ass punk. He goes on to say, how insecure are you? Actually, I'm very secure. I'm one of the most secure motherfuckers you will meet in this motherfucking game. How far have you been in your game there, Andy? Have you had women buy you cars? Have you had women pay for your trips? Have you had women, give you cash? No. He goes on to say, that would be like if I stopped listening to your podcast because you were once a aerobics instructor and preached quantum physics, which in my culture are stereotypically gay, effeminate professions, and yes, they motherfucking are. And that's why I was there, getting all that goddamn pussy that came in the room until it got bad for my business. So yeah, they are stereotypically gay with gay outfits. But you know what? Women came because that big ass bulging package in my leotards. And these were married women, single women, models, aerobic instructors, dancers, dance instructors. All of them came. And I fucked them. Going on, he goes, and areas of interest. Come on, man. We get it. Move on. Your energies are better spent teaching us to be men. And that's where he doesn't get it. I am teaching to be men. When you go find real men, they don't like homosexuals. I tolerate homosexuality. I understand it now. I don't rant on it anymore. I choose what I want to have on my TV shows. If they put the homosexual agenda in there, then I will turn it off. I won't watch it anymore. If they keep the show clean and just for, average viewers without putting their agenda in it, then I'll watch it. There's no reason for them to have written that gay character in that show, period. Except some gay writer constantly wants to put his issues out there in front of you. Homosexuals need to get over themselves. Homosexuals really need to get over themselves. Stop putting your shit in our face. Well, okay, we know you feel bad about it and guilty and all that shit. Don't put it in our face just because you're a writer down there in fucking Hollywood. Get over yourselves. It's dead. It's done. The whole big hoopla of the 80s and the big shocking thing is gone. We ain't got to be subjected to the bullshit anymore over and over again by homosexuals. Just because they feel bad about it or they feel guilty or their parents, don't want to love them anymore. My girlfriend still loves her son. I feel sorry for what she went through. And her son he wished it was different. I understand that many people are born miswired sexually. I'm not going to hate on them, but I'm not going to allow them to put their agenda in my fucking face and be a fucking tool. I'm an awake individual. I choose what I watch. And obviously, as a man, I'm going to talk shit about anybody that is a tool, Andy.